You're welcome.
They really
Spelled your name. Tommy.
That's all right, man.
I know. I saw that when she was walking in. You missed the memo.
Yes, I did.
damn clock stop.
Showing off our tans, right?
Yeah, it makes
Are we
sense.
on?
It does. It makes
Yes,
it.
I need to get a
She is tan. It makes me look tiny.
Well, I'm Miss Pale over
We've
here.
been recording.
Wells no.
It was good, very good. I always have gate 8, Ohio gate.
John starts
One day it
classes
just rained.
Wednesday. They already had it at
All day, my
Carolina.
shoes still haven't dried out from that.
Yeah, that's
Oh, do we? Okay.
Down.
Yeah.
I thought you'd changed the process on me.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Funerals wear me out.
One,
Huh?
2 days I had good.
Yeah, we do the ordinance and resolutions after.
One day I only had 100
Okay.
come through there.
Sorry.
It's a long day.
I did.
Yes, from 6:30 in the morning. Until
I'll call this meeting to order. We'll all stand for the American Pledge of Allegiance.
American Legion.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Thank you all. Our water girl will be here shortly, but I don't know the situation with the sheriff's report.
He is sick today.
Oh, that's right. He came in sick. I am. Roll call.
Lowell,
yes, I'm here.
Tom,
Present.
David,
Here.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
all present.
Thank you. We have no executive session scheduled, so let's go into a motion to approve the minutes from July 23rd council meeting.
Had that motion.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Vote.
Lowell,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Thank you. I need a motion to approve the minutes from the street water wastewater work session we had on July 26th.
Had that motion.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Vote.
Lowell,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Now I need a motion to approve the minutes from a special meeting we held on July 31st.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Vote.
Lowell,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Now I need a motion to approve the minutes for a special council meeting we had on August 8th.
I'll motion.
Thank you.
I'll
Second.
second.
Thank you. Vote.
Lowell,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Now I need a motion to approve the minutes from a special council meeting we held on August 9th.
Have that motion.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
You vote.
Lowell,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Becky,
Yes.
Thank you very much. Department reports. Officer Deal is off sick today, and the law director
Has no report.
has no report. That's
Has no report or has his report?
has no report. No report. So that
Why couldn't there have been a report even though
Jeez.
police, sheriff's department's not here?
Who's gonna give it?
Report.
He
Who's-
usually doesn't have a report, though.
Pardon me?
he's talking about the sheriff.
I'm talking about Dills. You said,
There's
gonna
no
give it?
report.
well,
There's
one would have
no
to give it,
report,
but
Lowell.
most of the time he gives it to us and then we ask questions.
I'll give you one from him if you want a report.
I have a point of order. This is the meeting of council and I don't believe she has the right to talk like that right now.
yes, she does.
Well, I don't think so.
Yes, she does. And we don't have a sheriff's officer to give a report. Now, who do you want a report from the sheriff's department from?
Well, he could still given us a report.
He did not give us a report. He went home sick.
That doesn't matter. It probably would have had it done before today anyway. I'm not going to belabor it. I made my point. I'm stopped.
Okay. Point made. Yes, ma'am, utilities clerk. Misty,
I in no way intended to disrespect anybody just now.
you did not.
There's a lot of people that come to my window and tell me what they're needing from the officers. That's the only reason I thought was going to help out. So anyway, back to the water. We've had about, so far this month, about 61,000 come in. And last month, and that's, it may be a little bit lower this month than last month because we had an extra weekend, July. So, but we're about 100,000 for last week, or last month. I really tried to get a lot of the past dues caught up, the delinquents. There was quite a few shut-off notices and actual shut-offs last month because I have to tighten things up, not let them go so past due on their bills. And they're thankful. I mean, no one was upset with this. They understand. I think we still need to work on the ordinance. I'm getting it tweaked a little bit, as I don't think it was ever followed as written. We're trying to, like I said, tighten things up and do what the ordinance says. But there's always going to be circumstances. To say that someone said that there's no circumstance that in order for the water not to be shut off, there's always going to be a circumstance or issue that we need to look at. So I don't know if it's a time thing for the ordinance or for their water not to be shut off, or a money constraint, like it don't go over a certain amount. But of course that can I approve that through the mayor if there is one right now. But that's all I have to report right now.
Very good. Any questions?
How's the delinquents come along on the water bills?
They're improving.
Good.
I don't have exact figures for you, but they're improving. We had close to 100 more payments last month than normal, than our average.
So it's come right along.
And I
Good.
can get that report to you.
Okay. Thank you.
In the meetings, if Billy would like for me to do so.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bless you. Do you need excuse, huh?
No, that's okay.
Sure?
Yeah.
I seen you were busy in there.
I'll stay for a little while. I appreciate that.
Okay.
When I do leave, I usually stay here and finish my report.
Yes, when she's excused, she don't go home. Very rarely. She goes back to the office and does what she does all day. And I commend her for that. Do you need excused?
Probably.
Only if you take me with you. Okay. I assume you all have looked at your appropriation status report. So I'll accept the motion to accept the appropriation status report.
Do you want me to explain? Does she?
Hmm?
Do you want me to explain? She goes through the reports.
Well,
Because there are some changes, massive changes to it.
okay, I thought it was on back here some, okay, I thought it was on later in the meeting, but that's fine. If they, do you want to explain it, or do they have any
Yeah, well, I
questions?
have village updates too. I have 4 pages of village updates.
4 pages?
If nobody else is going to talk, I'm going to talk. And then I have to explain my audit adjustment that we completed.
Audit
But it-
adjustments. I thought that was on
So
back
that was
here.
my cash summary.
Yes, by all means, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so let's go with village updates first. Council, as you can see, you guys have a resolution that talks about the gearboxes and the bearings that have recently been replaced down at the sewer plant. I wanted to talk to you and, kind of advise and be transparent with the residents as well, is that the sewer plant has experienced a gearbox and a bearing that has been underwater. Unfortunately, it was the design of the sewer plant And that, again, we can't control that. But what I do want to control is how to prevent this in the future. So basically what's happened is that when we get a lot of rain, the gearbox and the equipment goes underwater. Now, we all know what happens when the electricity and boxes like that go underwater. They don't work any longer. So this was an expense, and you all have a copy of the quote that we did not expect to have to repair because we only appropriated $8,000 for this, according to what was repaired last year. So I wanted to let everybody know that that's one of your ordinance to allow me to change that budget.
That's not an ordinance. She's referring to Resolution 2018-46, right?
Well, no, there's an ordinance that allows me to change the budget. And that was-
Oh, yes, you have that also.
Yes,
The bearings, water got in the motor, bearings,
Correct.
ruined the bearings.
yes. Also, in updates to the village, you've probably seen a lot of the, both of the employees out and about exercising valves. We've actually, that has never been performed here at the villages from what I understand in the past. That obviously when corrosion and bolts do not move, they make it hard for them to remove that when there is an emergency. So I had Ohio Rural Water come, as well as our 2 employees, to exercise these valves. And again, preventative maintenance, that if we cannot exercise these valves and they don't turn, they more than likely break off, and then we have to, weld them off. So this is another preventative maintenance that we don't have to worry about in the future if we need to have those replaced. I also wanted to thank Julia Orrs and the mayor for cleaning the weeds out at Town Hall.
Oh.
Him and I walked out one day, and she was there with rake in hand, volunteering her time to clean up the weeds that were obviously coming through Town Hall. So we wanted to thank her, and as well as always Mr. Timmons for helping his hand in mowing our lawn here at Town Hall. So I just wanted to thank them for helping out. Okay, so free training. Tyler and I will be attending free training that is being offered in Dayton on September the 13th. This is to help understand the RO membranes and maintenance problems and problem solving. Again, this is a free training that is about 4 hours long that we are going to go attend and to hope and help better understand the RO plant and some of the problems that we're experiencing down there. Okay, so also the Ohio Cancer Society has reached out to me and has asked if they could use the gazebo on August the 24th and the 25th from 11:15 at night to 1:15 a.m. And I think I direct this towards a block watch. I also notified Jack in the Sheriff's Department, just because of the day, the time of day that it's going to be dark, to make sure we have some extra security, that they're going to be coming in and out and using the public restrooms here. And basically what will happen is it's a bike or a run. They can do it either bike or run. They're coming from Columbus. This is their meeting point where they'll switch in and out. So what will happen is you'll see a car sitting there. They'll have extra runners there, and then they're going to start running here from Columbus to Cincinnati. And that's going to be, again, August the 24th and 25th at 11:15 to 1:15 a.m. That's going to be their switch off. So they'll be coming in here to use the public restrooms as well.
So just 2 hours?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I wanted to kind of give an update because I talked to the Ohio Checkbook people today. I wanted to give you guys as residents as well as council an update of how many people are actually viewing the Ohio Checkbook, because when she came here to present that, I think that's kind of the last time we've heard of it, and we've all gone on there at our leisure to look at stuff. So I kind of wanted to give you guys a total, because I know you guys don't see the portal like I do, because I'm the administrator on it. We had a total of 37 people that have viewed the website. Well, the Ohio Checkbook website for the Village of Mount Sterling.
From what period of time?
From the period of time that it opened up,
Which was?
in March.
March.
Yes. And then 33% of people that are new, which means that they're not from Mount Sterling. So I seen there was some hits from Grove City. It'll actually break down what area of town they viewed it from. So 33% were new and 66 were returning.
Have you had responses from the public on that?
No, I have not. They've not reached out to me, because my portal will show if they can send me a message or anything. They haven't. The only message that I got was from the Ohio Checkbook directly, is because my upload, they couldn't grab my upload. So we did fix that, so now the 17 should be downloaded to that site. But again, 37 people total have viewed it, so, you know, hopefully a lot more if we kind of announce it again and remind everybody that it's there. Okay, so Tyler Curtis has submitted his application to officially gain his license for the water operator. He had submitted his application. He paid out of his own pocket to submit for his license, and he is hoping to get back his certification and that we can post his license, that he is now can be a full water operator. He received all of his training, his hours, and as well as passed his test back in October, or September, October.
Class 1.
For his Class 1. So we're waiting to get his certificate back. An update on the potholes that we all have been talking about for months, as well as for the contractor that's out there filling them. He is 98% complete with the potholes. Now, as a note, 98% means that's what was bid on. Okay? That was what was bid on, again, months ago. Now, we all know that there's probably some large ones that have grown, that may have become little, and now are big. That's going to be a discussion back to council and back to my finance team to see if they want to reevaluate. If there are any potholes that need to be, you know, filled, shall we say, not cut. This is just going to be a Band-Aid in hopes that it stays for as long as it can be put down. So I just want to remind you that he will be coming in here and talking to the mayor and I on some issues that he probably seen out there or some potholes that he had discovered. But this will be coming back to council if you guys tend to or want to do any additional repairs. And I stress that there's a money concern, so I'm just making sure that we all understand where this is coming out of.
That's what I wanted to bring up about funding. I was wondering if we got the funding
That's
to
right.
do anything.
Now, again, we can't fill every pothole. I mean, I know that it's a priority when people put out the driveways that there's always that one that's there. But again, you know, we have to understand that we're trying to get the majority, the biggest part of those potholes repaired. And again, your guys' 5-year plan that you all approved, and this is going to be put back on council, you guys approved a 5-year plan to only contribute a certain percentage of your RETA into this capital improvement. So we need to understand that that 5-year plan is in effect because you as council approved that. So just be mindful of that, that we can't fill every hole, but again, we will.
We're going to try.
Yes, but we will evaluate this and then bring it back to your council.
One hole that concerns me is right out here behind you.
Yes, and it's filled.
It is good.
Yes. Yep.
Because it just tears up your truck. Also, the same thing on 71. If you've driven 71, I'd like to get the GOAT.
They did repair that, actually. I just went through there this weekend. The one that was right underneath the bridge, that I had to you had to kind of dodge that one. But ODOT's the same way. Like I talked to Ed down here at the ODOT garage the same way. And unfortunately, they have it way worse than we do, and say, you know, well, a complaint's a complaint.
Terrible.
But I feel that within this village, a complaint I want to address.
I know people in our neighborhood in Rosewood are really tickled to get that one that was like a moon crater, and they're really happy to get that fixed. So.
Okay, so there was a sewer line project that we helped over at the Mercantile. You know, there was somewhat of a plumber came in there, and unfortunately, did not mark it correctly. So we had some sewer line repairs there last week. We also are having a Tonka, which is a manufacturer for one of our down at our water plant, to parts of our equipment that we feel needs to be analyzed. There is some corrosion and buildup on one of our membranes. And in order for us to find out what it is, we have to remove the membrane, do an autopsy on it to see why the buildup's there. And whatever happens at that point, whatever they tell us, if it's a chemical issue, if it's a mechanical issue, what's under warranty, what is this? I've already spoken to my council, to my finance people about they're coming in Thursday, part of their warranty, to have a specialist come in here from Minnesota to explain what's happening and why this is happening.
That's water plant.
Yes. So again, this buildup is not supposed to happen for another year or so. So we are in the process to making sure that that's taken care of and that there are no effects, you know, of breakdown, but it is a warranty spec. Also, one last thing on the updates, if I may. Okay, so I'm beginning to think of water that's being pumped through the sewer plant. Like, as we start to analyze and as we start to talk to, the employees, we start to talk to the operators, we start to talk to specialists and professionals. I've just noticed that there's been an increase of flow down at our sewer plant, which means that there's a lot of water. And what happens when you process a lot of water? It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of, effort from the employees to keep up on it in our press building. It takes a lot of effort for electricity, as well as machines. It takes a toll on those machines. So what I decided to do is to, again, as a free service, Ohio Rural Water has come down to here to see if we could analyze why there's so much water down there. And what I had them perform is to going to opposite parts of the town, okay, and opening up manholes. Now, as we know, when there's a big rain, we can definitely see where that water's, infiltrating, coming in, filtering in. And what has been found is that there are field tiles that are connected to our sewer mains, which cannot happen, and it will not happen. So what we've found is that there are certain parts of the town that, again, is processing water, through these manholes that should not be. So we are talking with Ohio Rural Water to how we can, best manage this, and help with the cost of making sure that, we're only charging for the people that are using it, and figuring out ways of, kind of eliminating some of that additional water that we start seeing through there. So if you see a lot of us kind of out and about, that's kind of what we're looking at, is how to reduce that. But I'm done with that. Any questions on my updates? Okay, on to the appropriations. Before I start, you guys have probably seen that the general fund isn't a positive, right? If we all looked at our reports, this time 3 weeks ago, our last meeting, the general was at a negative 165,000. My finance team knows this. The auditor, state auditors, as well as the auditor that had performed our audit from 13 to 15, found that there were fund balance adjustments that needed to happen, which made the general go into a positive, and the street and the highway to go into a negative. So you guys are seeing on your reports that the general is in a positive and 2 other funds are in a negative.
And you're looking at what's report?
Your cash summary by fund.
All right.
So you'll see here, we'll start with that, 166,000 in the positive. You'll also see that the highway and the street is in a negative, whereas it wasn't before, right? The only thing that was in a negative was in the general. I am working with the state auditors as well as the auditor, Perry and Associates, to see if this is going to be long-lived, short-lived, if there's going to be any adjustments that are going to come in and out of here. But as of today, what I'm reporting is that the general isn't a positive, or the general fund isn't a positive. So that's a little bit different than what we normally have seen. So is there any questions on why those adjustments were done, what those mean, and the status of what we're at now?
Courtney, did they have a reasoning? Did they tell you why they did
Yes.
them?
So part of those reasons why I had to do the fund adjustments, because they were not correctly posted the first time.
Okay.
By the previous administration. So in order for them to correctly make sure that the funds came out of the correct fund, they made me do balance adjustments.
You're talking about the cash summary report?
Yeah, the cash summary by fund. If you see where it says pool balance.
I don't even see the report.
Okay, is it stuck behind one of your staples? Because I know that
Probably.
there's probably 6 reports in there. Here, you want to take mine? Can you guys pass that to him, please?
No, I can listen. I'm fine.
So that's a little bit different than what you guys normally see, because you're normally to see no other fund in a negative. Again, you guys will be the first to know once I receive word on if there's any more additional adjustments, but this is just revenue that was moved. Okay, so I'm waiting for the state to give us the next set of recommendations, and we can move from there. But as of today, this is what the balance is showing. Okay, any questions on that?
Before I leave, though, I want a copy.
Sure.
Here, David, hand that down to him.
Here you go.
Oh, you have one?
That's yours. No.
Hopefully, we won't get all excited.
Okay, you said
Being in the
the,
positive.
I understand the general fund, and you said the street is in the negative.
Yes, the street and the highway. The street is showing a negative 59,133.15, and the state highway is showing a negative 94,606.87.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I'm not saying what I'm reporting is this is what it is today.
It's the way they audit those
Yeah.
things.
So again, they were incorrectly posted originally, is why they had to be removed to put into the correct one. Okay, so any questions on that before I move to the next one? Okay, appropriation status. So now that we know that the general is in the positive, you guys will see that, again, the percentage in the general, and if, just to let you guys know that we had our commission meeting. I'm sure Finance Chair is going to probably talk about the commission meeting, but we've explained everything through here. It was all outlined by Mr. Pudoff, as well as April Davis, on the reasoning why these percentages are kind of higher than expected. And this is no surprise to everybody, but you know, we had that transfer, excuse me, that transfer for that, the Rita was in and out. So again, some of these items I've been kind of tasked with to look at is I want to make sure that now the telephone, that's one of my instances, is that the telephones are taken out of the correct fund. We're still trying to manage, you know, what belongs to what fund through this whole entire process, and it's been, you know, trying to make sure, you know, what line item it's taken out of. Because my main concern is that year-to-date expenditure. I'd like to see that at, you know, where we're supposed to be at, which is right around 65 to 70%. And again, some of these here are larger than expected. But again, we're working with the state to make sure that we can control where these line items should be. Is there any questions on the general fund there before I move to the water? I just want to pay note, I think I'm going to start talking about the street fund, or the street on this appropriation status on page 4. The street fund shows a 16%, so yes, we have been, and finance has been controlling the expenditures. So 16% is very good for the street fund as far as operational expenditures. That's very good, because, you know, again, you should be at a at like a 65, 70%. So that's very good, even though the fund is in the negative.
By 94? 94,000?
Oh no, that's the 56. Yeah, the street fund's in a 59,000. The state highway's at a 94.
I see.
Okay, so that's good. I mean, we're controlling the expenditures correctly. Okay, so the water fund is the next one I usually talk about. That's on page 8. 44%, so that's very good. Very, very good as far as expenditures. Even with the loans taken out, that's including the loans. So we are well below what we're expecting. And then lastly, I'd like to talk about the sewer as well, around 45%, so very low on that as well. Again, I'm making sure costs are only to be used when needed and nothing additional, so that's very good in regards to those funds. Okay, any questions on that? Okay, on to the payment listing. These payments were approved on July 23rd as well as 8/10 because we had that 3.5 week lag. I asked my finance committee we are continuing to have those finance recurring meetings on Mondays that are adjacent to our regular council meetings, and I had them approve it on 8/10. What you'll see is from this time period, I know it's a lot. So Miami Products, that's chlorine for the water plant. The Sherwin-Williams was the paint that Jack needed for his Parks and Rec. some other ones that you guys normally don't see. Moores and Excavating's you'll see on there for his completion that you guys motioned for, as well as what finance approved for his halfway through project. I did get his last invoice today, so that will be for finance approval. And then you'll also see some of these people's names on here. Those were water refunds. So if they've moved outside the village and they no longer pay village water or sewer, Misty's talked about it before, the $150 deposit. This is the money less than what that $150 deposit was. So if their bill if they still owed a balance to us, we take that out of their deposit and then send their money to them. So you'll see some of those people here as well. And then A Media is just for our advertisement. And I don't see the press here today, so.
So you're telling me that Morrison's complete with his work?
Yes, it will be. He sent me his last invoice, so I expect to have my finance approve that so that we can send that last payment out.
Didn't take long to eat up $30,000.
Right,
did it?
I know. And we also, there were a few items on there that he was able to save us money as well. So he had generously helped with, additional potholes that were not on the bid, as well as making some different selections on trying to save some of that money. So it wasn't all it was a bid. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay. Receipt listing. Again, it's been a long time since we met, so I know it's been about 3 weeks. A lot of these you'll see. Miranda Homes is another lot that was sold. We also received, as you can see, the Village of Mount Sterling, like Misty was talking about, trying to keep a handle and tightening those straps as far as delinquent bills. You'll see a lot of that's on here. Rita came in at $76,000. That is very high than what we see usually, but again, we're involved in that program now, where we are handling delinquent income. So that's all that we have on here. If anybody doesn't have any questions on that.
Our status report, like you said, was stuck to a staple.
Oh, was it? Okay.
So I'll hand it
I know
back.
when they get to be one page, it's kind of, okay, so comparison of budget and appropriated. This is one of our new reports that the state requires us to kind of show you guys. And this is, again, what was compared to what was budgeted compared to what was appropriated. So again, this does affect, with those fund balance adjustments, they do affect the totals in these accounts as well, which still leaves the street and the state highway in a negative. Okay, any questions on that?
Do you think now the auditors have it squared away, or are they not sure?
I'm going to say that the auditors have an understanding of what needs to happen, and will basically tell us what we'll need to do to make those adjustments. Now, do I know how much or what the funds are going to look like? No, because I don't think any of us were kind of prepared to making those adjustments.
We tried to tell them all along that we thought there were some mistakes they should address.
Yeah, so but again, nobody knew until a complete audit had to have been completed.
No.
So, am I say that we should stay true to these numbers? I would say not. I would say that there's probably more to come, because this is just revenue. The only way, the thing about it is with revenue, you got to move those expenditures too. You can't, you can't pick and choose. Oh, we'll just move revenue without moving those expenditures, because that's what the problem is you can't. Your expenditures, are true, and they were not applied correctly. So it's going to take some time to understand what is truly an expenditure for that fund.
How about this state grant moving a high where we're a negative 36,900 on that one?
That was already moved.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that was moved on the first round.
Okay.
Which made, basically there were two funds that should put you in a physical emergency, and that was the
Okay.
general fund and that was the Moving Ohio Forward.
Okay.
Moving Ohio Forward, to make that fund sufficient, gave the additional debt to the general fund.
And that should not have been. We told them all along that was wrong.
Yeah. So, we'll have to wait until the rest of that audit is completed, and then, like I said, I'm reporting what it is as of today. Okay, so the revenue status, this is the same thing. Again, an additional report that I think that is useful for you guys to review. This is, year-to-date what's been received, and obviously our real estate is coming up above what was ever originally budgeted. So I'm happy to report that, because I think once we got into the delinquency program, that really helped that line item.
The what program?
The READ program for the delinquents. So we're at 101% additional. It was budgeted for 27,000, and that was for the entire year. We're at 27.9, and we still have months to go. Okay, I'm almost done. And the reader report. Let's see. It showed here that on August the 1st, 73,871.58. So that's good. That's up than what we're used to seeing. And then my bank rec is in my office.
So you're telling me because
I know where to go here. Okay, so you guys, in my bank rec, I did approve. It did balance. It's July 2018. We are balanced to the penny, and I'm going to go run and get that so that you guys can view that and then write your names on it. I'm sorry that I have to.
No, that's okay.
I was busy with my finance.
No, we understand. Busy woman. Busy woman.
Okay, so my balance, I'm balanced for July. Again, with these inflated bank errors and the payments not at UAN, during the commission meeting, they're still trying to see if we can just go ahead and move that to the general fund, or if they still want us to find out, because these are these two items here are nothing that they can find out to track it to anything. So it really doesn't apply to anything. They just don't know where they came from.
How much?
About $5,000. And then there was also a return check adjustment that you guys will see on here. We had a couple check returns from the sewer and water department. I'm done. I'm done.
Finished?
Yes.
Questions? Okay. Motion to accept the appropriation status report she went over with you.
Have that motion.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Vote.
Flo?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes.
Tammy? Yes. Becky?
Yes.
Need a motion to accept the payment listing report you have in front of you.
I'll motion.
Thank
I'll
you.
second.
Thank you. Vote.
Flo?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes.
Tammy? Yes. Becky?
Yes.
I need a motion to approve the cash summary fund report in front of you.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. I'll second.
Excuse me.
Vote.
Flo?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
I need a motion to approve the receipt listing report.
You have that motion.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Vote.
Flo?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes.
Tammy? Yes. Becky?
Yes.
A motion to approve the new comparison of budget she went over with you.
Motion.
I'll
Thank you.
second.
Second. Did we get a second for that?
I second.
Thank you. Vote.
Flo?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
I need a motion to approve the revenue status report.
Have that motion?
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Vote.
Lowell,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
And I need a motion to approve the RITA report.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Vote.
Tom, or Lowell,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
And last but not least, I need a motion to approve the July 2018 bank record.
Have that motion?
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Vote.
Lowell,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Thank you. That runs us into committee reports. Finance, Rebecca Burns.
Okay, the first thing I wanted to mention on finance, just to clarify, even though, as Courtney explained, the cash summary by fund shows a positive, this in no way changes the 5-year plan that we had developed earlier because of the negative fund in the general fund. Like Courtney explained, these adjustments were something that we needed to do. We don't know what is going to be offsetting at some point, but that's where I think the auditors will let us know. So we are still proceeding, watching every penny that we need to, looking very carefully at the POs and everything. The next commission meeting itself is going to be in October, but I didn't bring the date with me, but 25th at 10 o'clock. And so we basically just went over and everything. We are still watching expenditures very, very carefully. We are just have a standing finance committee meeting. It's every Monday that there is not a council meeting at 3 o'clock. Our intention is to start looking at a couple of the other funds besides the general fund as far as kind of like planning out in a spreadsheet expenditures. Is there things that we can trim? For example, the electricity at the water plant is a lot more than what we thought, and things like that. I mean, is there ways that we could perhaps reduce it? But we're starting to look at expenditures and different accounts and see if there's any way that we can trim it to make sure that we're doing our due diligence to reduce costs as much as we can and any type of expenditures. So finance continues to work really hard on all those things. And of course, if there's ever any questions, just please contact me. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Pleasant Township, Becky.
Right. Do have a little bit. Pleasant Township trustees are working in tandem with the county commissioners and Rob Slane. They're working on a comprehensive plan for five-year plan. Also, they mentioned Kathy mentioned Enders, that they are probably introducing a new recycling thing to the town where, I forget the name of the group, but once a month, I believe she said it had to go through the church board, but everyone seemed on board at the vacant lot across from the United Church.
On East Columbus.
They are going to have once a month a big truck come in, and it's going to have an attendant watch, and it's going to be, I believe, only like a 2.5 hour time period, and people are going to be able to bring their recyclables there. And I know I've had a lot of people approach me about recycling and how disappointed they are that we don't have it anymore. So that's a good thing. So hopefully that will happen. And also, just one thing I wanted to mention is that they received a first-time water bill. That was brought up at their meeting, that the city now is village is now billing them for their water, which probably should have been happening all along.
For years.
But they did get a water bill, and so they're going to start paying a water bill like everyone else.
Next month they'll get 2.
Yeah. So everyone, and I think
One
it's been
for the
said
garage,
before
one for
by
the
Courtney
garage, and
probably
one for
several
the
times that, you
trustee
know,
building.
we have a big water plant and we need everyone to pay their fair share. And so I believe several entities have been discovered that haven't been paying. So, so that was a good thing too. So that's it.
So they, in the past, they've been forgiven for their water.
Who?
The Pleasant Township
Right.
trustees.
Now, you addressed something else?
The garage,
Oh, the garage.
Pleasant Township garage.
Is there a meter up there?
Yes, there is. So, our policy is that if you use water, you pay for it.
If I may ask her, they're gonna go back for any possible refunds from them for where they've not been paying?
No,
No,
they got a water bill
we're not going to pursue that. We've
just
had
for 1 month.
several accounts that, for one reason or another, have fell through the cracks.
They've been told they didn't have to pay it.
In certain situations, I wasn't going to say that, but
Long time ago.
they've been forgiven their water bill, or it's been scratched off. Quite a few. And she's finding them. And she hasn't been going back for past payments. You know, she just happy the fact that they're getting a monthly bill now. For instance, last week a lady lived in town, didn't know she had to pay a water bill. She's lived here 2 years. Well, she knows now. And she was threatened with going back and making some past payments, and she finally agreed, you know, that she'd pay what she was billed, and at least we're getting more money now every month. But
Maybe just want people to pay for what they're using.
yeah,
Nothing less, nothing more.
yeah.
Just to pay what they.
We're just correcting a lot of mistakes that were made in the past several years, and we're not going after anybody or past debts or anything like that. We're not forgiving water bills anymore, which used to be a habit that we've stopped. So that's how that came about, that water bill. Squad, Mr. Anderson.
Squad was last week, and it got mixed up on my date, so I did not attend. So I don't have a report.
All righty. That leads us to fire. Mr. Ward.
We had a fire meeting on the 26th, and for old business, they received an OFM traveling grant of $27.69, and that was awarded to them. So they got their money back. That's for their I believe it's for their traveling expenses. So that tickled them pink. The tanker trunk was welded. It's not leaking anymore, and they're really happy over that one. So, and the building exterior, where that stucco is coming off, and the prices they were getting was extremely high, so they decided to pretty much go with siding now,
Okay.
covered up. And then, so the motion was made and passed that they're going to go ahead and go with siding. And on, let's see, there was an emergency run here in the village on July the 5th. And there was a total of 7 people that got very ill from breathing fumes. And there was 4 firefighters, 1 deputy, and 2 squad members became very ill from breathing the fumes from going into it. And so they're all okay. Thank God for that. They're all okay. And there was 2 volunteers that was terminated for failure to report during runs. So they were terminated. And there's been, so far as of July the 26th, 215 fire runs so far. And then, you know, of course, that's could be, you know, vehicle crashes or whatever. And that is an awful lot. And as you know, you can hear them going out all the time anyway. So all the runs and stuff are up for for not just for them, but also Squad B. And so next meeting is going to be on August 30th at 8 p.m. at the Tri-County Fire Department.
Okay.
And that's all I have for the fire, sir.
All right, thank you. Water, wastewater, Rebecca.
Okay, I want to get another water wastewater work session scheduled here real soon to kind of pick up where we left off. At our last meeting, one of the things that we had discussed but had not made any recommendation on was the help for a position perhaps for a village worker, the necessity, if we were to do that, what type of position, et cetera. I'd like to continue the discussion on that. I also know that we are waiting probably to meet with environmental engineering to discuss the study that they did for us more in depth. And also, I'm real curious to hear an update. We did ask environmental engineering about a grant for the purchase of 200 water meters that we are desperately needing. And of course, even if we apply and are awarded a grant this year, we would not receive anything till next year. But I believe the one they were talking about was only something like a 10 or 11% contribution by the village, which is excellent. So it's only being very creative that is going to give us the monies to do things to continue to really build up different things in the community that is really needed at this time. So I will be getting with you afterwards, and I will have it posted on the website when we decide to do a work session. I would like it to be on a Monday afternoon, but I need to check I didn't bring my calendar with me. And that's everything.
Very good. Streets. You can waltz right into the street report.
Yep. Okay. Well, obviously, the potholes are a huge relief. It's so nice to drive around. Even though that was paid out of capital improvements, it really, the Morrison Excavating's doing a very nice job with that, and I'm hearing a lot of positive comments for it. But I had mentioned before, and it's the one thing we know, the problem with streets is that there's only $60,000 revenue we get every year. That's fixed. We have no say in that. So we are, the Finance Committee is starting to go through, that's the fund we really want to take a close look at. We do not think there's any way to reduce any other expenditures in there. We want to make sure, though, that we've done our due diligence in reducing expenditures. So we're going to be taking a close look at that fund, but it's just understanding that the restriction is we only get $60,000, and that's mandated. That's not our decision. It is what is available for that fund. So it makes it kind of hard to work with, so we really don't have that many street meetings right now. We have to be creative if there's anything that is needed in the future as to how to come up with the money for it. And that's all.
Very good. Now, you can waltz right into Parks and Rec.
I'll keep waltzing.
Yeah.
Okay, of course, with the majority of Parks and Recreation, as far as the money goes and things, had to do with the Mason Park and the Youth League. And of course, that is winding down. And I think if you look at the appropriation status report, it's still below the percentage as to where it should be. And of course, that's what we reported in our meeting to the Financial Commission is, even though it looks like there's been a lot of spending, it starts to slow down. And I know the one thing that kind of falls into Parks and Recreation, perhaps in a way, but it is being, I'm noticing the updates. We know that the website has gotten behind, and that in the minutes, the resolutions, we need to get all the information on there up to date, as well as when meetings are going to be, and that is being addressed. So for all the people who depend on the website, which you should be able to go to and see current information, I want to make sure that we get everything up to date on that, including meetings. So, and where the community can go if they want to observe a meeting or something like that. So that's something I'm working on too.
Okay.
And that's it.
Very good. Thank you. Record of retention, Mr. Anderson.
No report.
No report. That leads us to nuisance. What a nuisance. And abatement.
What?
Tammy Van Sickle.
I got a lot of things to say, just not as much as Courtney.
I'll give you some of mine.
No, we held a special meeting on August the 8th, discussed some of the ongoing issues we're facing. Also discussed some recommendations. One we, council will be voting on tonight. We got a couple more that the committee's looking over. But I am happy to report on August the 2nd, 3rd, Mr. Ward and I went out and tagged 12 places. And gave them their 10 days. All 12 did comply. So I didn't have to stand and beat my head against the wall. But On the most part, most people are compliant. We might have like 5 houses that 5 residents that I'm afraid we're just gonna have to go stronger force with them. We do still have complaints coming in. You can still send anonymous complaints through the website, but the residents have to understand, not every complaint or concern that they have is actually a nuisance issue. We've run into some that a neighbor just don't like what the other neighbor's doing or whatever, so they want to complain, or people don't like where people's parking. We're not a counselor. We're out there trying to enforce what ordinances and laws we have. But I do want people to keep continuing to send in their complaints. We will be going out this week with some follow-ups on some of the houses, giving their final warning. Like I said, there's like 5 of them that either won't answer their phones or answer their doors, ignoring us. We're going out and they're going to have to be addressed. Our next committee meeting will be August 29th at 3:30. And one of the things I will be discussing with the committee is, Courtney and I discussed it, possibly, as of right now, having 2 nuisance meetings a month instead of 1, until we get some of this a handle on some of the issues that we're dealing with right now. And that's all I have.
Okay. Very good. Block Watch, Mr. Ward.
All right. On Friday, August 3rd, there was somebody with a blue van driving around McConnellsville and was on a resident's porch looking inside. So we want everybody to be aware of what's going on. This individual is still out there, and he said he was doing survey work. Well, and he also said that he knew who the sheriff was.
He was driving where?
A blue van in McClymansville.
Oh, McClymansville.
And he was,
I thought you
but
said
anyway, when he
McCalls.
got ran off, and he was heading toward Mount Sterling. Okay, so the crime is out there. So we need to be aware. Is it nighttime, daytime, all the time? Okay, and then. There's just so many things going on. We had like a 3-day period there. We had on August 5th, we had a lot of cars that were gone through here in the village and outside the village. And then I think it was Monday night, Tuesday morning, there was 2 individuals walking around the village trying to get into cars that were open, let their doors unlocked. So in summary, basically everybody just needs to make sure that they lock their cars up. And if you don't leave anything in the car, and if you have anything in the car, cover it up and hide it. Okay? But so just be aware. But we are out there and we're paying attention. And Courtney, I'll get with you later on about this thing you got coming up on the weekend, or on the 28th, I think it was. And sir, that's all I've got.
Thank you very much. That runs us into ordinances and resolutions. You have before you an ordinance 2018-43. This is an ordinance enunciating the strength chart for the village of Mount Sterling, amending all prior strength ordinances and declaring a emergency for the 3rd reading. You all know what this is. Do you have any questions about this ordinance? You don't understand it.
Mr. Mayor, if I may. Now, this is the one, this is for the emergency repairs for the wastewater, I believe it is.
No, this is for the strength ordinance.
No, this is a
Mechanic
strength
position.
ordinance.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Which one? What number?
An ordinance, you want to read it again?
2018-43. This is a strength chart ordinance. I need a motion to place it on the 3rd reading.
One thing, Mr. Mayor, for we have this, I want to mention, this is not for a hiring. I want to explain that to everybody. Again, we've
Right.
talked about this.
Right.
This is so we can go through it. I hope everybody understands that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need a motion.
Yeah, that motion.
Place it on 3rd reading. I need a second.
I'll second.
Vote.
Will,
Yes.
Tom,
No.
David,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Same.
and Becky.
Yes.
So that passed.
Passed.
Third and final reading. I need a motion.
For passage.
I do. Do they have a right to comment before
No,
that
not.
motion? Okay. I need a motion for passage of ordinance 2018-43.
I'll give you that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Second, thank you. Vote.
Discussion.
There is no discussion on passage. You got discussion on first, second, and third readings. No discussion on passage. It's strictly, the issue is passage.
You can't discuss, make a
Cannot
comment?
discuss passage. We had the third, placed on third reading. That was the time for discussion. Now it's up for passage. Very simple. The question is passage.
And I have a motion and a second, correct? I need a vote.
Lowell,
Yes.
Tom,
No.
David,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Tammy,
Abstain.
and Becky.
Yes.
So it has passed. It is in effect as of right now. Thank you. Resolution 2018-46. This is authorizing Courtney Brooker to transfer funds, repairs and maintenance, machinery and equipment. She explained all that in one of her reports. I need a motion to suspend the rules because of this breakdown of a very important piece of equipment.
I'll make that motion, sir.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
Vote.
Lowell,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
I need a motion to place this on first, second, third readings.
Got it.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you.
Discussion.
Discussion before the vote. You all know what this is about. Very important pieces of equipment at the sewer plant broke down because of poor design. Okay. Vote.
Lowell,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Thank you. I need a motion to adopt 2018-46.
I'll
Have
give
that
you-
motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Vote.
Lowell,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Thank you. That leads us into Resolution 2018-47. This is simply a resolution that has to be accepting a donation of $300 for the purchase of plaques and pictures in Town Hall and other recognition props and declaring this an emergency. We're doing this simply in one night. It's a simple
give you
donation
that motion.
transaction. I don't, does he want us to say his name?
Says it right here, Robert Sires.
Okay, I guess
you.
that's who's donating.
Sears.
Thank
Thank you.
I'll make a
Okay.
motion to suspend the rules.
Thank you very much. Second.
I'll second.
Give him some credit. Yeah.
Vote.
Lowell,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
and Becky.
Yes.
I need a motion to place this on first, second, third readings.
Got it.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Vote.
Discussion.
Oh, yes, we have it. Anybody?
Thank you.
I would like
Okay.
to personally thank Bob, for
Yep.
supporting and attending every meeting and, offering
Work sessions.
suggestions and work sessions and finance meetings and stuff. You are a dedicated resident here and that means a lot. You trust in council, you trust in the mayor, and administration, and, I think that says something, and you're always at every meeting, and, I think when we don't see you there, you always wonder where you're at.
I want to say too, it's good he's doing this because we got to keep Mount Sterling's history, like plaques and stuff, because there's so much history in this village that our young people don't know about, and when people like Bob and them willing to get these plaques and stuff, and so Bob, appreciate what you do, buddy.
We all do, Bob. Trust me. Vote.
Lowell,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Now I need a motion to adopt Resolution 2018-47.
I'll motion that.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Vote.
Lowell.
Yes.
Tom.
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Rebecca.
Yes.
Tammy.
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
That brings us to ordinance 2018-48. This is a ordinance prohibiting within the village limits of Mount Sterling for you to park a motor vehicle on a lawn.
I wanted to mention something while we have a chance to
Wait,
discuss.
wait. And they want to declare this ordinance as an emergency. Now, I need a motion to suspend the rules.
I'll give you that motion.
Second,
A second.
vote.
Lowell.
Yes.
Tom.
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Rebecca.
Yes.
Tammy.
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Now I need a motion to place this on the first, second, third readings.
I'll make that motion, sir.
Thank you. Second,
I'll second.
discussion.
Yeah. Now I'll bring this. I think it's time we've done this for a long time because it's getting in some neighborhoods, it looks like a junkyard or a used car lot. And it's been a long time in coming, and I think it's time we do something about it and in the situations. And I gotta congratulate Tammy. She's working so hard. What we have done doing this, and she's doing a wonderful job.
I have a silly little question.
Go ahead,
But-
silly.
So graduation parties, people pull in your yard or something.
This is permanent parking.
So like for under like a brief.
If you're having a party or something, that's what.
Yeah.
But for someone to leave their car in there parked like it's,
Right, like it's a parking lot.
I believe it's a 48-hour
there is.
criteria with
Okay.
It's a 48 hour.
Okay.
There is.
It's in the ordinance, 48 hours.
Okay. Sorry.
No, that's
Read
a
it.
But you can have a party, Becky.
good.
I have a lot of parties.
In case there's a party.
We'll be down at your house.
Great calls.
Vote.
I have a question or
Oh, I'm
comment.
sorry.
Who's going to enforce this?
Your nuisance and abatement committee.
Well, they've done more than some people that should have been enforcing it. I'll have to say
I'm doing my
that.
best, Lowell.
So do you have the authority then to write a ticket,
I'm allowed to tag it.
tag it, and the tag goes to the court if they don't
If
comply?
They don't comply.
Okay.
And the tag goes where?
Courts, municipal court.
You do it directly?
I'm allowed to fill out the thing. Billy has to sign off.
Because I know there's some things. There's one place behind the Lodge Hall up there. It looked nice one time. Now it's getting worse.
That's how a lot of places are. They
Yeah.
look nice in one time, but they keep getting worse.
But we used to have something like this in effect, but Mark informs me that it's not on the books. But it was.
Well, we've made changes to it, so that's why we have to, why we have to address it this way, because it didn't have the option for gravel. It did not have a 48-hour tagging, for them to remove it, nor did it say it was at the owner's expense. So it did have to be
And
amended.
it also addresses the, if they're in the driveway, they still have to be legally
Yeah.
registered vehicles.
So there were some changes made to it.
Vote.
Lowell.
Yes.
Tom.
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Rebecca.
Yes.
Tammy.
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
I need a motion for passage of ordinance 2018-48.
I'll make the motion, sir.
Thank you. Second,
I'll second.
vote.
Lowell.
Yes.
Tom.
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Rebecca.
Yes.
Tammy.
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
That leads us to resolution 2018-49. This resolution authorizes me to enter into an agreement with Fayette County Building Department for building inspections and zoning permit issues. And I'm declaring this an emergency because we need to get signed back up with the Fayette County Building because of the work going on in the village now. So I need a motion to suspend the rules for 2018-49. Thank you. A second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Vote.
Lowell.
Yes.
Tom.
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Rebecca.
Yes.
Tammy.
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
I need a motion to put this on the first, second, third reading.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Discussion.
Question, are we going to go in with the same guy we used to have?
Yes.
And who's going to enforce this? He will?
He will.
He will. Yeah.
Well, I agree with you. There are building situations going on that they have never had a permit.
Right. And we're trying to correct all those problems.
I tried to correct it too when I was, but I didn't get it done because nobody would cooperate with it. So I'm glad to know somebody's going to be in charge of helping us enforce that
Right.
ordinance.
Yes.
That's
We have,
half the battle.
Misty has the permits, all the paperwork in her office. And,
I'll be delivering the signs back, or the maps in the book.
yeah.
Does that include, we have some, I know of an area next to the Lodge Hall, we need to take the building down. Do we have to have a permit to take it down?
I don't know whether or not there's a requirement for a demolition permit or not. Ordinarily, there would be a permit required to take a building down
Well,
because,
it's roofless, so,
well, there would be requirements, i.e. asbestos, for instance.
well, there wouldn't be, but I suppose you'd have to do
So there would be some issues regarding asbestos and lead paint that may be required.
I don't think there's any paint in
Left
it.
it, okay,
I would contact him.
yes.
Vote.
I have one more question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I just see here that there's a reimbursement expense for mileage. Like when they come and do inspections, that the village will be paying this reimbursement fee for their mileage.
My understanding is that that's only happening when they have to come down here and they're going to do advanced data disrepair or a zoning issue.
Okay.
Now, ordinarily, what a zoning permit would be if, for instance, Courtney decides that it doesn't meet the zoning requirements within a specific area, for instance, B1 or B2, you can't move, say, a pet store into a zoning area where only a restaurant is supposed to be. So it has to be approved based upon the occupancy of the particular building, and that's what this is about. But,
Okay.
But she can approve most of them. If she has a question, then he would come down and he would look at the building, look at the use, and see if it's a conforming or non-conforming use or a conditional use.
Okay.
What about if you wanted to paint a mural or something like that on your garage door?
Well, I think that's a totally different issue. I don't think
All right,
there's any.
that's what I wanted to
I don't
know.
think there's any issue. I don't think anybody can stop you from painting a mural. On
That's
your,
what I have in mind. That's
Yeah,
what
I don't think anybody can do anything about that.
yeah. That's what I told the person.
Yes.
Vote.
Lowell,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Now I need a motion to adopt 2018-49.
You got that motion?
Thank you. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Vote.
Lowell,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Round table.
I got a couple of things. I want all the citizens of the village, the kids will be going back to school soon, and the buses will be kind of changing a lot of people's lifestyle, but watch for the buses and the kids getting ready for school, seeing their old friends and stuff, and also, call me a dinosaur. I still miss the Madison Press paper. I know stuff's digital now, but I still miss turning the pages, and I know there's a lot of citizens that still do, and I think in some ways it's hurting a lot of things because some people, that was their only communication between the town and what they know what was going on. And now, some people don't have computers, especially a lot of your senior citizens, so I just want to get that off my chest.
I spoke to the Madison Press, actually, to add on to that. I spoke to the editor, and I wanted to assure, because, Mount Sterling is at the very edge of, Madison County. And it was assured to me, and that's kind of why I made the note today, that there's no press here, is that they assured me that they would have somebody here at our council meetings.
Yeah, because I think that's very important, because
We'll have to assess,
yeah.
maybe moving forward with kind of how we send our advertisements now. And
Because I've talked,
Covering
yeah,
who's gonna cover.
I talked to a lot of people in the village, because I'm out and about, and a lot of your older people say, we want to know what's going on here and stuff, so I appreciate that, because.
well, that's why we're going to try, like what Rebecca was saying, is trying to update and utilize our website.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm talking about a Facebook page to connect with people, you know, instead of going to the website.
Yes.
But unfortunately, we can't control the printing or people that don't have computers, but
Right.
I am fighting for that, because
Yeah.
I've had a lengthy conversation with him, and it was assured that they would still be covering here, so.
I know a lot of it's involved with tariffs, but I won't get into that right now from Canada, but we'll stay quiet about that.
Has there been any movement at all on, we had an idea at several committees, on maybe making like a town newsletter, like a printed copy, because a lot of people in this community aren't, you know, on social media and stuff, and we had talked about possibly doing something like that. Is that still in discussion anywhere?
I had went ahead and, excuse me, I made one already, and I went out and I gave a couple of them out, and I wanted to try to get some feedback. And unfortunately, we got really busy between block watch and nuisance and abatement, and I've not had a chance to go back to these people and talk and get their ideas. Hey, did you like it? How did you like the form? And all this, that, and the other. And I will get to there maybe hopefully tomorrow if I can do it, and try to get the feedback. And that way I want to bring it back to everybody and let everybody get the feedback on it and say, hey, this is a good idea or we're not. So.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Round table. Visitors.
Talking about the potholes. I remember when Mayor Meade was here, chemical plant back there.
Yeah.
They both had agreement that he helped take care of Chestnut Street. Because the semis are going back and down through there. That's what's tearing that street up. So I just wondered if you guys could fall back on the records or whatever and find out about that street over there.
All righty.
Like crop production back there?
Yes,
Make a note.
They're tearing it up by the semis.
It's a good point.
All righty. We'll do it. Anybody else? We're adjourned.
Oh, she had something to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're unadjourned. That was easy.
I just wanted to thank you, because last time a committee got together, our church was having a thing for the kids. And I just want to say thank you. Because we had a good turnout and we had a lot of fun.
Good. And thank you for all the free corn that your church was passing out. That was nice.
I don't want to see any more of that stuff.
Now we're adjourned.
All right.
Thank you all very much.
Miss Courtney, what was the times on those dates?
Wasn't too bad. Hour and 18 minutes.
Are we, because I put in my calendar that we were going to have those little work sessions on the alternating Mondays, but then we didn't have them for a while.